Welcome to the Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC. They'll help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you listen often, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Now here's your host, four-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and business coach, Holly Porter.
Hello, and welcome everyone to another day at the podcast. Today I have a guest, and her name is Steffie Jo. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Holly. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I know. So I've known Steph for a little while. Do we call you Steph or always Steffie Jo? Because what do you prefer?
You know, I go by both. It's kind of like whatever you're comfortable with. My professional name's Steffie Jo, but Steffie is good too.
Well, some people it bothers. Like my mom's Lynn, and she always goes by Joy Lynn. People don't call her Joy. Well, they do, but she's just always gone by Joy Lynn. So when people ask me, I'm like, no, just call her Joy Lynn. So okay, names are important to people, and other people don't care. Like me, I don't care. Just call me, right?
Yeah.
Tell me whatever you want as long as it's nice.
I know.
Your face and you actually follow through with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to read a little bit about you here because I don't have it all memorized. So Steffie Jo is passionate about helping women entrepreneurs who are on a mission to create greater impact and visibility in their businesses so they can help serve a greater audience. And she has been a business owner for over 34 years. Like, does she even look like she's 34? Like, I'm calling you out on that. She's the creator of Express Your Essence, coaching and mentoring women to connect, create, and cultivate from their authentic presence for a more vibrant and prosperous result. So she's got a book we're going to talk about, and she also has a podcast we'll be talking about as we go along here. And so, you know, she is awesome. Like, we met through eWomen, I guess, right?
Yes, we did.
At a conference, and we're both platinum. And I think that's where I met you at first. And we ride the shuttle back to the airport together for a couple hours.
I think we did. We had some great conversation. I just felt connected right away.
Yeah, I love how that happens. You know what? And it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes there's people you can't get away from fast enough, and other people you're like, oh, I could just go with this forever. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Well, I'm an empath, so being that, it's like people can wear you out really fast. And I know because I'm a loud empath. That's my title for myself.
That's funny.
I know I wear people out. My energy will wear people out. And it's like doing personality profiling, I have to sometimes step back and say, oh, you know, I do it with shoes. You know, I'll be like, oh, they're a loafer. I got
it's
a flat loafer.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Like they are, I'll say, oh, they're a flat loafer in my head. I go, oh. Or if they've taken the test, I'm like, are you a flat loafer? It almost sounds like I'm calling them a flat loafer. But I had to do that
Holly.
because it made sense. And I have the version, and they're loafers. They're not flat loafers. They're just loafers.
Oh, that's I think that's great.
They're not heels, they're dress shoes. So.
I love that.
Yeah. Boots and sneakers are the same for both.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Sorry, total tangent. So, like, what is lighting you up these days? What are you working on? And I know you're super busy and got lots going on. So.
I think my most favorite thing is the conversation I'm in today with women around their essence, around their feminine essence. I've been for many years, I've talked about just essence in general, who we are, the very essence or energy of who we are, but it's evolved. And so I just really feel this juiciness around talking around the feminine essence. And so whenever I get a chance, I love to understand everybody's, everyone's got a different or a different definition. And I feel like I'm in this zone of collecting the definition of feminine essence today. And I'm having a blast with it.
So So when people hear you say feminine essence, I know what I'm thinking. I'm just curious, like, what's the feedback you're getting? Like, what? I'm sure they're confused by what that means, you know? And so their head starts what they're thinking, which is what I'm doing too. And I know you. I'm just thinking, you know, that was my first thoughts was, what is that? Like, what does that mean? So if someone asked you that, which I am asking you that, what would you say?
I'd say the feminine essence is the core of who you are. And being that I talk to women, you know, we're talking about their feminine side, but it's not, here's where I go, is because this is where it gets confusing, because I've talked to women that they go back to the days of the feministic movement, or the feminine, you know, movement, burning the bra. Oh my gosh, you know, I've had conversations around that, but that is kind of like the old school definition of feminist. So it's the feminine essence is not about the feminine, this feministic movement that's been in the past, but it's about today. And it's about the core of who you are, understanding at that very core, your passion comes from this. This is what you were born with. So since I talked to a lot of women, where the movement in today is around the feminine conversation of our coming out differently in our strengths. Yeah. So understanding the feminine essence is understanding your strengths innately. What are your innate strengths and how to use that, and be in touch and connected and cultivate it. I love the conversation, or how do you, once you recognize your innate energy, your feminine essence, then how do you create from there? How do you cultivate it so you embody it? Because there's, you know, in my world and what the women I work with, sometimes there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And so it's about connecting again.
Did you say when you recognize you're in your eight, like the number 8? Did you say 8 world?
In 8, INNATE, in your
oh,
in.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, the reason I just looked up is 8s are all over for me right now. And so I've been thinking,
oh,
and when you said
interesting.
That, oh, a new meaning.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
like,
we can go into the numbers later.
Yeah. Numbers are very powerful, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
So what is your story about believing in your results first so that you can become your results through your actions and beingness? Let's talk about that.
Well, it really goes back, that goes into the believing in yourself first comes to recognizing yourself. Okay. And recognizing not on the surface, not your personality, but it's below the personality. Who were you born to be? And connecting to that, your essence, connecting to that and really understanding it and then believing in it. Because it's one, oh yeah, that's what I'm like. But when you really grasp it and believe in it, then taking that passion and understanding and applying it to your business, now you're coming from that strength of who you are authentically. And that's the big word right now. And I think we're kind of getting inundated, you know, with that word's coming at us all in a big way. And I think it's maybe getting a little diluted. Yeah. But the authenticity, but it still holds true. When the authenticity, the more authentic you are, then the more you prosper in your business. When you apply your authenticity to your business, the more prosperous you become.
Oh, yeah. Right? When you're living in your true self, you make better decisions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't have that fake label all over you that is so transparent to others. Even if you think your persona is totally being hidden. No.
Yeah.
What it does is you come off weird. Like,
yes. There's a disconnect. People, they see the disconnect.
Yeah, we've all met people where you're like, I don't know what's like up with that person, but something's not right.
Yeah.
It's usually personality style they're living in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it could be, really, it could be who they're married to, how they were raised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they've had some trauma. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think PTSD does that, you know. I mean, I've dealt with
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
with personalities and
Yeah.
people, and it's like, wow, it'd be hard to be married to someone with multiple personalities. I know my husband's all he can handle. I mean,
oh, that's funny. But you know, I have talked to women that if they're not in the best environment, and they tend to take on a side of them, maybe not their dominant personality or who they really are, but they hide behind what they think they should be, right? And so now they're a different they're not their real personality, they're hiding, but they've adapted that to either survive or what they think they should be, and all that. So if they're living in that, say, secondary, and now they're creating, say, a business, and they're not really truly coming from who they are, but this one that they've fabricated, there's a disconnect, and people see it.
yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Right?
So true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love where this is going. You know, I love the
Yes.
profiling
Yes.
aspect of it. And you know what I've noticed, because I do have my little quiz, and you've got yours, and we're going to offer that as a free gift. What's it called?
It's called the Essence Style Type.
So that's basically a personality little quiz, right?
It is. It goes. Essence is a little bit. The easy explanation is a personality type. Yes.
Well, yeah. So take that, and then I do mine. But what I've noticed, and I don't know if you've thought to look at these results. The people in mine, I just do 4 basic ones, and I use shoes. You know. So what I've noticed is entrepreneurs tend to have more of a balance of all of them. If not, usually people have one that's higher and then a secondary, you know, that they fit in. But I've noticed a lot more people are balanced with 3, or maybe some are even on all of them. And there's only 13 questions that I ask, you know, so it's not like this big scientific, you know, quiz or anything. But the point is, entrepreneurs tend to have that balance a little bit more, because I think they have to learn how to live in other people's shoes, so to speak, you know? And they're balanced more, and so they're a little harder. It's a little trickier to see that they're off. Just because they get it. They like, oh, I can be over here, and I can get along with them, and I can be over here, and I can get along. They just know how to do that.
Well, you know, I think it's the more you work with people, the more you understand how to build rapport, and the more you learn how to meet people where they're at. And so all the different personality types, if you want to build rapport with them, then you're speaking to them in their personality type. And so there's the balance. And you know, I have 4 types of mine too. So I love to hear that. But you know, there's such, and I bet, you know, what would be fun is if we see how ours line up, because I really find that all the personality typings out there that's been created, they all come from the same place 2,500 years ago. You know, as the first one, Hippocrates, he classified us, right? And into different types. But I get fascinated in how everybody lines up, because they do. And you may not even know it until you start researching. But yes, I think we all, like you said, I agree, we all have them within us. And how do we use them? How do we have this dominant, but we can shift into the others depending on the situation, who we're talking to, and everything. I could talk personality types all day long. I love it.
It's a skill. And you know what? I think if you're skilled at it, you can shift without being and still come across authentic. I believe. And not fake, you know?
Exactly. Because you've learned, and you know, and I feel you purposely are working at building that rapport. So you get this almost like this energetic string going back and forth when you really connect. And so it doesn't matter, the personalities at that time, you just are zoning in, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting for like me and you are really social, so I guess what shoe you are. I think you've already told me too. And when you'll notice this more as you keep interviewing for your podcast as well, that like some people, they're so dry. You're like, you want to almost like have that drum ta-dum-dum after, because you're like, oh my gosh, there's like this silence. And what I was doing, it was a guy, and I was actually a guest, but so dry, like just boring. And I think there was a stall in the technology. So like I'd say something and I'm all thinking, expecting this like little laugh or something, and then like nothing. I'm like, I'm sitting here going, he was just behind. It was like a fact. The funny thing is, that's just how he is too. So I doubled it because I call that socially awkward. Like he's just socially awkward.
Oh.
Really mad. But it was the weirdest feeling. Like, it's just like, and it's like my husband. He's a flat loafer. Well, not a flat loafer. He's just a loafer in the men's. And it's okay, but we're like totally opposite, And so you just learn how to work with him. And you ask someone like him a question, and I'm asking him again because he hasn't answered me, and he's thinking about what he's going to answer. Yeah. So it's just holding back a little bit. Yeah. And working with that, And so I love the essence part of it. Like that's different, I know you and I, we could totally have a whole program on all this, huh? Yeah. Ooh, wait, what are we saying? We do.
We do.
What a good idea.
I know.
It's a lot to learn, and I learn all the time. And so I love other people's, because I love to draw with how they've created it. And so many out there that me personally, I followed a lot of the disc on mine, my questions and the personality styles, mostly because why reinvent the wheel?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to copy people, but the color code, the disc, there's so much the same anyway that it's like, I just put my new flair on it and use shoes because they're fun.
Yeah,
so
they are.
Too, and you take those styles. Okay, let's shift here and let's talk about your vision of being an entrepreneur, getting you where you are now as a girl. Like, do you want to talk about that for a minute?
How I got started, or
like what got you here? Like,
Oh man. So I remember my first business, my very first business. I think I was 7 years old. I would go into my mom's bathroom and I would find all the liquids I could, and I'd mix them together to make perfume. And then I would find little bottles around the house wherever I could, and I would put the little mixtures in the bottles. And instead of having a lemonade stand, I had a perfume stand.
I love it.
So I just knew, and I think I realized at that time, it was now looking back, of course, that I just have always been an entrepreneur. And I always knew I would have a business, but I didn't know what it would be. So I was always experimenting out there as I was growing and such. And then I ended up, I think I was late 20s. And my ex-husband and I started a business in the aviation industry. And what was unique is it was in the parts industry, but we innovated. And this is the key for me, that I'm realizing that innovation is key, right? So that we were in general aviation, and there was no one bringing out parts for sale that had been surplus. In general aviation, there was nothing like it. And they were doing it in auto industry. They were doing it in the commercial aviation, but not in general aviation. So the timing was right, and we just started this business, and it took off. But I guess what I wanted to bring up is I always knew I was going to be in business. I just didn't know. And then I landed in aviation. Oh, come on.
Whatever makes you successful, and if you're happy, that's what matters.
I know, but it was great. It was great. So that was 1984. I even kind of don't want to say it. It was so long ago. But it was, you know, it was in the masculine world too, but it taught me so much about people. And, you know, after that many years, you know, of having employees and dealing with personality types and, you know, just helping them grow is helping me grow. And so when that kind of, well, I have to say, you know, I divorced the man. I'm still part of the business, but I got it was a really highlighted, you know, I could say there, you know, a lot of ups and downs at that time anyways, but when that happened, it opened up the world of the feminine side of business. Yeah. And it was like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not going to go work for anybody. I've worked, you know, I created this company. I was still part of it, but I needed to find my own. And then it opened up the world of working with women. And I just, that's now where my heart's there. And it's always, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. And then wham, bam, I had a divorce. So it kind of, you know, that throws a spin. But that was a positive thing that came out of that. You know, there's always something positive that comes out of something.
You have to remind me. I have an idea for you. So you remind me.
Okay, I will.
I just can't hear it.
Okay.
For you. Okay. So
okay.
I had an idea when you were talking and telling me the story. So we need to wrap up. So just like, what's something on your heart maybe that you just want to like, something powerful, like give me some inspiration that you can share with our listeners.
Oh, boy, Holly, talking with you, you know, I just so enjoy talking with you, and time goes by so fast. But the inspiration, or I think I would like to leave with, you know, I think it's kind of an old saying is, you know, follow your heart, but I think it's more than that. I think it's finding your heart, looking within and describing the passion that's in there. And then go with that.
Oh, I like that.
That's that. I'm going to leave with that.
Put that on your wall.
I think I will. I love that.
Recording in case you forget exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll charge it.
Okay.
Thanks. I have lots of $1 million. I have one for you. We're going to be chatting about
it.
Okay. So Steffi has her website, and give us that. We will post it in the show notes. Okay,
that's at www.steffijo.com, STEFFIJO.com.
I love that. Okay,
yeah.
So she's going to have her free gift. We will also post that link below.
Thank you.
Click on there and go grab yourself that and figure out what is it called again?
It's the Essence Style Type.
I love it. And then you can get a hold of me and I'll send you my little shoe persona quiz and we'll see how they match up.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's fun.
You can have your shoe essence type.
Yes. Oh. I love it.
Do something with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest. You're so lovely always, and I just love hanging out with you.
Thank you, Holly.
Bye, listeners. You join us again. I have a snap flying around that's driving me nuts. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC, helping you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you enjoyed our time together, and we'll visit again soon. You can learn more about Prosperity Profilers by going to hollyporter.com.